Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome on Tunis International Radio. You are listening right now to the daily edition of English language program presented by Haouda Ben Cheikh on air in Studio One with my colleague Mohamed Tidia for the technical engineering. Hope you're having a great time and enjoying yourself on this very special day. Yes, it is special because it's almost winter, but actually the sun is right there. It's really springtime still. And it seems that this is going to change, and we are going to announce later on some announcements of the National Institute of Meteorology. It seems that things are going to change, so take good care of yourself. Today we are going to speak about the environment, and the environment is an everlasting issue that we have to talk about, especially the issues of pollution that is Tunisia is suffering from, being air pollution, marine pollution, or land. I'm really happy to welcome my guest here, Mrs. Claudia Feltrup Azafzaf. She's the CEO of the association Amis des Oiseaux, Association des Amis des Oiseaux, Friends of the Birds, more commonly known on Facebook on AAO.
Exactly.
So there is quite an interesting event that is going to start tomorrow, which is the Science Festival. And this year they are celebrating its first edition. It's the first event that is going to be organized. This festival is going to be organized. It's not only in the capital, but it's going to be decentralized. It's going to be everywhere in the whole territory, and that's really great. So people everywhere, they can join in. People everywhere who are really interested in the environment, in participating, in taking part in the event, that's the opportunity it is offered to them. It is under the high patronage of the Ministry of Higher Education and the Ministry of Education. There are many partners there, and from these partners, from these associations and civil society, there is the association, the AAO. So I would let more Mrs. Claudia Azafzaf tell us about the association and its activities during this festival. What are you planning for? And if you have future events that you would like to announce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, hello Haouda, hello to everybody who is listening actually. So Association des Amis des Oiseaux, or AAO as you call this, is already 40 years old. So
wow.
It's not one of these young
great experience behind
NGOs that popped up some years ago. So we are going to celebrate our anniversary next week, but today we focus on the Science Festival. Mm-hmm. And yes, as you said, this will be the first edition, and for AO it's the first experience in this festival. So AO has one part in its main mission and vision, which is also focused on science, because we are carrying out a lot of studies and monitoring of birds, but also on other biodiversity. So from its very beginning, AO understood that you need good science to do good conservation, and this is what we are trying to achieve. And this is also what we are trying to communicate through this event, because we are trying to show people what we have done these last years in this field. And we are especially involved during 2 days, tomorrow and on Saturday.
Yes.
So tomorrow we will open the doors of our headquarters and office, and we invite people to meet us there between 9 o'clock in the morning and 12 o'clock.
Yes.
There are two activities actually planned. The first one is a guided tour through a photo exhibition, you can say, which is called Histories of Salt and Birds.
Yeah.
And the second part is a small scientific conference on all the work we have been doing during the last years on waterbirds and wetlands in Tunisia, but also in North Africa. Mm-hmm. So this will be a conference to show how we see science should support conservation, should help to solve everyday problems, may it be in the environment or may it be in other fields. So the idea is really to show that science should be universal, science should be inclusive, and science should also be international, because many of the problems we are facing for the environment are not limited to a site, to a country, to a species, but are really worldwide. Mm-hmm. So you need this part of exchange and collaboration in your country, but also with other partners everywhere in the world, or at least in your region.
Yeah, that's really great. And here, tell me that you have 40 years of experience in Tunisia, and that's really great. And it seems that the AAO, which is the Association des Amis des Oiseaux, is partner of bird life and in Tunisia, actually. So before moving to the second event that you are planning during this science festival, I would like to ask you about this 40 years of experience and this through the observation and research that you dealt with and the data concerning what's going on in the environment in Tunisia, being about the birds, etc. Is there any improvement or worsening of conditions? Let's be fair and let's inform our listeners about it.
Yes, of course. You must be honest about it.
Yeah, we have to evaluate and assess, because people are being concerned more and more, especially among young people who are really interested into giving a hand and being active parts into changing the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, in general, we don't want to be too alarming, because you also need positive people to change things. So if you're frustrating people with everyday only black news, it's also difficult to have change. But it's clear it's not even necessary to look at Tunisia only. Look out in the world, and you will understand that most of the species we are knowing throughout the planet are decreasing in difficulties, or facing different threats, and there are a lot of people out there also trying to solve these problems and help biodiversity to be maintained. Of course, in Tunisia, we have been going through a very tough period, very inspiring and also opening period, but also a period where it was a little bit difficult, or more difficult than before, for the authorities, for example, to enforce laws that are existing. It is not that we do not have the good framework, but it is how we enforce these legal frameworks on the ground. And of course, you should only look at our nature reserves and national parks. So all of them were subject to some pressure, and are still. So yes, of course. Also in species, some species are decreasing because there's illegal action, like illegal taking. And all these issues can be summed up as an alerting situation for birds in Tunisia, actually. But there's also a lot going on to tackle these problems, and to build partnerships, solid partnerships that can also ensure medium and long-term survival of our biodiversity, special biodiversity in Tunisia.
Let's hope, and let's keep faith in a better consciousness and awareness of people. And thanks to these sensibilizing days and events that are very often organized, being by your association or others, are trying to play actually a very important role. Let's go back to the Science Festival. And it seems that on the first day you said that you are planning for a guided tour. And for the second day, what are you planning?
Yes, it is going
on Sunday,
directly
Saturday.
Yes, on Saturday. It is responding directly to what you said before. Going to meet the public, show the public what rich biodiversity and natural places we have, and then hope to involve them in their conservation and protection. So what we are going to do on Saturday is to visit a small nature or small bird reserve right here in Tunis, which is the nature or the bird reserve of Lac Tunis, and the southern part of the lagoon. And so we would like to bring people there to watch birds, to also experience the silence you can have almost in the middle of the city, and the amazing panorama you have around there, because you're in a wide open area, and you will see the skyline from Tunis, and you will see the different mountains you can see, and other structures and landscape elements around there. So the visit will be mainly to watch birds, but also to experience in general nature in an urban context, and to reflect together with the visitors on what can be done on this site to protect it, but also to promote it, to get it better known to many people as possible, because more people know about, more people will care about. So
exactly.
This is the idea. And in the same times, we have been invited to organize some kind of information desk in the central event of the festival. This will be in the Technopole El Razela.
Yes.
So we will be there. I think we start at 9 o'clock and we'll be there just until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Sorry.
Yeah. Good. And that's going to be also on Saturday or on Sunday?
This is also on Saturday. Though there's one team working in the morning in nature, happy ones, and
happy ones, lucky ones. And the other in the office.
Yes. But yes, we are always happy to meet our public, to meet people that are interested, and we think that this is an opportunity to come to the Technopole and to meet AAO. Because we also know that Friday many people are still working, so it's not evident to come to our open day of open doors. But on Saturday we will be available all the day.
Oh, that's great. That's great, because this is the opportunity, People are going to be, actually they are having Saturday as a day off or even half a day. So this is the opportunity to go in family. We need you to be there, adults and children. There is no better way to teach children about the environment, about the landscape, about nature, about respect, about preservation, about animals, about birds, other than taking them to that place, watching by themselves, asking the right questions that are turning in their minds. We are teaching our kids all the time in books, pictures of birds, but the best lesson is right there, going in the open air and watching by themselves, experiencing by themselves. So here I really recommend families to go all together, adults and young. It's a unique experience, because we are all the time running, all the time working, all the time teaching and studying and learning. But let's take time off and here have the time to enjoy nature and to enjoy the birds, especially that you are going to learn so much. You are going to have the experts of the AAO who are going to teach you, or actually to inform you about many interesting things about birds, names of birds, and how do they travel, how do they come to Tunisia and come back, etc. So it's really interesting. What's about the current activities ongoing of the AAO? What are the events for those who are really interested to join in the activities of the association for this and upcoming month?
Yes, as I said, we are going to celebrate our anniversary next week, so
you're planning for something special, I suppose.
We are quite absorbed by these activities, so there will be official ceremony somehow in Tunis at Hotel Africa. But this one is on invitation because, of course, limited place available. But in the same time, we are organizing also an information stand, information point on Avenue Habib Bourguiba. So this is starting at 10 o'clock in the morning and will go until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Right. And there's a special part for children with some activities also planned. And of course, it's there where we are going to inform the public on what are actually the topics we are working on, and there will be a special focus on every kind of illegal hunting and illegal taking of birds, and also traffic in birds. And there will also be a part about nature tourism or ecotourism as a tool you can use to protect nature, to conserve biodiversity. And of course, we are informing on all the other activities, like we are going to do also tomorrow on waterbird census, and why are there crazy people going out in January when it's really very cold to count birds in wetlands. Yeah. Many people may imagine more let's say, nice things to do. But yeah, we will explain why we are doing these things and why we think that more people should do it, because citizen science is also something we really would like to promote. And this joins also the objectives of the Science Festival during the next 5 days.
Okay, so this is great. It is time to remind you that the Science Festival is taking place everywhere, and if you click on it, www.sciencefestival.org, you are going to find lots of details concerning various events that are ongoing. There is a Science City, there is the lake, there are other places in Ariana, in Tunis, but also in other governorates of Tunis. Stay tuned to the website. Lots of interesting are ongoing for all those who are really interested to take part in the event and to be active. So this is wonderful opportunity for all of you, and I remind you again, it's really wonderful if you take part in that in families, adults and young people. So thanks a lot, Mrs. Claudia Feltrup Azafzaf, member in the Association Amis des Oiseaux. So would you like to say a last message for our listeners, for the young people who are really interested in being there?
Oh, I think all I have to say is come to meet us on Saturday in the Technopole in Radella this week, and then come to meet us next week on Avenue Habib Bourguiba. It will be a lot of fun, but it will be also a lot of information and opportunities to join the NGO, our NGO, and to get active.
Yeah, and stay tuned to the Facebook page for all necessary information. You can send them a message and they will answer you right away. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for that.
Back to music now. We continue with the rhythm again, and that's There's Nothing Hold Me Back, Shawn Mendes.